Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to a new video, and this one is about MAMP, Macintosh Apache MySQL PHP. Now, if you are thinking that why on earth am I covering a MAMP video, then the idea is that few days ago I visited some friends, and there I met a group of people who were out of job market and they wanted to get back in, and they were not the most technical IT savvy group of people, and we wanted to upskill them. And after hours of discussion, we landed onto a decision that maybe they can learn how to create websites and create some simple websites about something they like to do. So the point came that then how do they create websites? And the answer was WordPress. So how would they use WordPress? Well, we thought that okay, maybe we can use, since they were all Windows users, I couldn't help that. I can't shift them to Linux. So the answer was something called WAMP, like WAMP stack, like Windows, Apache, MySQL, PHP. And one of them came up with an idea of using MAMP, Macintosh, Apache, and MySQL and PHP stack. And surprisingly, MAMP is available for Windows as well. So, I visited them once again, one other time, when they were stuck in some problem, and they didn't know what to do in various options in MAMP, or what to do with various options of MAMP. So I decided to create a video about it, and thus this video today. I will try to keep it short, but I cannot guarantee that it will be short. I have bad throat as usual, and water should be my remedy for this. Alright, what I have done is I have created a Windows 10 virtual machine, or a machine for you, and as you can see on the screen, I have searched for MAMP here. I'm going to increase the size of this VM so you see it as a regular Windows desktop. So if you search for the word MAMP, you will find this link, and you'll see MAMP and MAMP Pro, and then you go to free download, and you will see a link for Windows here. If you're on Macintosh, you download this one. If you're on Windows, you download this. Now, apparently it says Windows 7, 8.1 and 10, but in my experience, Windows 8 did not work. So this machine I've installed, this is a fresh installation of Windows 10. I've not done any configuration on it whatsoever. So whatever steps or problems we will encounter, you will see them. Ideally, I don't want to encounter any problems, because this video is for very users at a very beginner level in IT. All they want to do is to use WordPress, right? But they of course have to install it somehow. And now I'm addressing to you, these users, that I expect some level of IT knowledge. So I expect that you know how to operate a computer, and you can understand the concept of file manager and how to manage files in that. If you don't know that, then then we have a different problem. We have to solve that problem first. But if you know how to manage files and how to open a browser and all that, then we can move forward. Alright, so what I've done is I've clicked on MAMP, and it will show me a download a software which will start to download. Since I've already downloaded it, I'll just press cancel. And I'm also downloading WordPress by going to the WordPress directory and pressing this not directory, WordPress website, and press this. Okay, this is too much for you. Maybe I'll just search for WordPress on Google, and then I reach wordpress.org/download. Click here, and then hopefully, come on, yes, hopefully you will see this link here, download WordPress. So you click that and it will start to download, and where it will download is in your file manager, right? So I'm going to minimize this browser, or even before minimizing, let's redo these steps again. I went to MAMP website and I pressed download, and I see a download here which is completed. But how do I verify? I go to my browser, start, probably Windows accessories, should be somewhere here. Where is file manager? Oh, come on. Is it administrative tool? What kind of stupid system is this? Where is the file manager which says, when it says Windows accessories? Or am I just blind? I don't see it here. Okay. File Explorer. Okay. This one. When this opens up, you go to this PC and then you click on C drive. And of course you see lots of directories, or alternatively you can go straight to the quick access and just press downloads, and here you see MAMP is already downloaded, and there is this unconfirmed download, and I'm just going to delete that for the sake of ease of understanding. Assume there was nothing here. So now I'm going to need WordPress also, right? Although it comes at a later stage, but just to save time, I'm going to download WordPress by doing the same steps which I showed you. Search for WordPress, go to wordpress.org/download and press this button here. It will download a fresh copy, as you can see here. In few seconds it will be there. Okay, that's it. So we have MAMP downloaded, and that is our main thing right now, and we are downloading WordPress. They will both go in the downloads directory. So I have a diagram which I've made for you, and I'm going to show it to you. It is supposed to be here somewhere, this one. Very good. So this diagram shows in the center your computer, your laptop computer or desktop computer, and I'm assuming it's connected to some network over wireless or even wired network, it doesn't matter. And on that computer you see I've let me choose a highlighter here. Within or inside this computer there is a hard drive which is normally called drive C, and that is what you saw. Okay, WordPress is downloaded. Let's go to file manager and also pin to taskbar. Okay. So this is your file manager, and this on this PC you have this C drive here, right, which has some free disk space. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying C drive. This is the C drive. Within the C drive you have a lots of other directories, but what will happen when we install MAMP is that it will go here, and since it is something in future, so we better do it now, and then we will come back to this diagram again. So I'm going to go to the Windows machine, and I will do, I'm sorry, I should do a full screen. I would go to downloads and I would select MAMP, and I would double click this one. Remember, this is a completely fresh Windows installation. I just installed it this afternoon maybe. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes, I have no other choice. Install MAMP Pro in addition to MAMP. No, I don't need MAMP Pro. And install Apple Bonjour used for MAMP viewer. Okay, I don't know what that is. Just press next. I accept the agreement, whatever the agreement is. Yes. Now notice that this one is installing itself in C MAMP, and what I want you to do is make note of everything. So let me fire up Notepad, and I will also pin this to taskbar so I have access to it all the time. And here I will use MAMP installation directory. Yes, I like to call it directory. You can call it folder. Is C:/ hello MAMP. Okay, I've made a note of this, and now I can press not cancel, next. This is the menu item. Yes, next. Create desktop item. Yes. Install. Come on, stop asking me these questions. So this will install, and I also did one more step in this Windows installation, that I used the world's best web browser to download the world's best web browser. So the best browser to download Google Chrome is Internet Explorer. After that you don't need Internet Explorer. Its purpose is solely to download Chrome, right? That is the sole purpose of existence for Internet Explorer, to download other web browsers. So that is what you see here in the background. This is Chrome, Google Chrome, and I would strongly advise you to use Chrome, because I tried using Explorer on Windows 8 yesterday night, and it was giving me so much of headache. Error messages which I could not understand. It was simply refusing to talk to certain websites because certain TLS setting was disabled by default, and I wonder why. Anyhow, so MAMP is being installed, and we have no choice but to wait. It will be done in a minute, I hope. The reason I want to show you this is because there are certain pop-ups which will come up and will ask you certain permissions, and you have to allow those things to happen. One of them is Apache asking you to allow a firewall exception, and the second one is MySQL asking you to allow some firewall exception. or add a firewall exception. So that is what we will do. It is now installing some dependencies. Visual C++ 2008. Okay. Meanwhile, I can go to the file manager. Where is file manager? Here. And I can go to C drive. And now I see the C:\MAMP directory. If I go into MAMP directory, I see a very important directory called htdocs. And I also see another important directory called db. These two are very important directories. The most important, mostly you will not be concerned about db, but you will be concerned about htdocs, which is kind of empty right now. These two files don't count. It is kind of empty right now. And if you click here, you will see this path here. By the way, I also want to tell you that MAMP documentation says that you need at least Windows 10 and it should be 64-bit. And this version of Windows which I am using here is 64-bit Windows 10. Alright, fine. It doesn't say here, but if you go to control panel, where is control panel? Settings, system, I don't know where to find, maybe in the about. Yes, 64-bit operating system and 64-bit processor. So Windows is 64-bit in my case. Alright, so it's still installing some dependencies. As soon as it's done doing it, we can move forward to do the basic setup or basic checkup of the system. What else do we have? We have made a note of MAMP installation directory, and we know that the Apache document root will be C:\MAMP/htdocs. This is the root directory. It could be Apache or it could even be Nginx, so it doesn't matter. Now I see something happening in the background. Oh, it's installing Visual C 2013. Okay, we'll continue making our notes, and later on when we will install a WordPress installation, we are going to install it in another location within this tree, so to speak. So WordPress location or files location is going to be C:\MAMP/htdocs/WordPress. Okay, I see some icon flashing which says MAMP setup is complete, so let's press finish. It has surprisingly not asked me to add some exceptions in the firewall. So what I'll do now is just a small recap. We have finished installing MAMP as a software. Now I'm going to start MAMP by clicking this icon here, maybe double clicking this icon here. Okay, when it starts, this is its very small dashboard, and when it starts, it will start the Apache server, the MySQL server, and here are those windows which I told you about. It's going to ask you that Windows Defender Firewall has blocked this application, which is MySQL D, and it asks allow MySQL to communicate on these networks, which is private networks such as my home or work network, and this is okay. If you don't want to allow it to be accessed from public network, then you can uncheck this one. Alright, so we can uncheck public network and say allow access. So MySQL is added, or exception for MySQL or MySQL database server is added. Now Windows Defender Firewall is blocking another app, which is Apache Web Server. And we want to say that allow Apache Web Server to communicate on the private networks. And we don't, depending on your situation, you may want to or you don't want to allow access to it over public networks. But let's uncheck this one. You can, if you don't know, if you're not sure, you can just let it be enabled. Nobody is going to come and hack your or crack your MySQL database or Apache Web Server unless they have a public IP for your computer. Okay, so allow access. And when MAMP starts successfully, you should see green signals or green light or green markers next to Apache server and MySQL server. And here this is actually a button. They should make it look like a button, but they want it fancy. So this is stop servers. If you press this one, which I'm not going to press right away, it will stop both of these servers. There's a third option, which is cloud. You should completely forget about it for now. We are not going to cover cloud. It basically means that MAMP can help you set up your WordPress or whatever on the cloud, somewhere on the internet. But we are not going to do that. And one of the reasons is that it's complicated a bit. It will add more complication to this video, and it will also cost you some money. Let's go through the MAMP menu. You have MAMP and preferences. In the preferences, you have these options, but most important are ports. Apache and Nginx both will run on port 80. And I know from the networking principles that they both cannot run at the same port at the same time. So what's MAMP going to do is it will run one of them at port 80 for you, and that is something we will discuss in a minute. MySQL will run on standard port 3306. If you make any change to these ports, you can always press set web and MySQL to port 80 and 3306 and everything will be fine. You have to press OK and stop and start servers again in case you change these. Here it shows you what version of PHP you are running, and here you will see what is the web server. And right now the web server selected is Apache, but you can also select Nginx, and in that case the dashboard will show you Nginx here. But right now we can just live with Apache. Document root is something where you place your actual web pages. htdocs means hypertext documents. So it's an old convention. We have already made a note in our notebook that Apache Nginx document root is this one, which is correct. And then it says MySQL. It just shows you what version of MySQL there is, and that's all there is to it. So press cancel here. Servers you can stop, and then if they are stopped you can start them from here. In terms of tools, you have check MySQL databases, repair MySQL databases, and upgrade. And then there's some more stuff about cloud. Now this small dashboard will give you another dashboard. If you press on this open web start page, click here. And how do you want to open this? Of course, use the world's best web browser, Google Chrome, and say always use this app. Okay. So there you go, you have a new tab, and now there is a page which is open, and this is the MAMP localhost / MAMP. It shows you that it has some PHP, MySQL, which can be administered with phpMyAdmin, and it gives you some very important details about the system, and this is what we are going to make a note of as well in the textbook notepad. We'll make a note that database credentials are these ones. Very good. Fine. Right, just keep noting whatever you see. So, and if you want to use PHP, then what type of code would you write, etc. And then there's just garbage. You are not interested in that at the moment. So we reached here by clicking on the open web page, and then you have this web page, which is actually another type of dashboard. So it says localhost because that is what your computer is. Everything running on this computer can talk to every other service within the same computer on localhost. If you don't understand this, just for the time being, just make a note of it. You don't have to really understand this because this is something related to networking. But I have this diagram for you which shows this. So everything, you see, I mentioned localhost here. So in the browser you access localhost, and then this computer would be actually localhost for everything running on this computer. And I've made a note here that your Apache Nginx web server is running on port 80, and then you have MySQL database running on port 3306. These are the two services running here. We also made a note that you have a default a database, MySQL database, which has these credentials, and we have MAMP Dashboard, and you also have a phpMyAdmin interface, which we are going to see in a minute. And now visually you see that C drive has MAMP directory, and inside it you have htdocs, and you also have a database directory. And we are using these three general tools to learn this during the learning of this video. We have a text editor open, or you can even use paper and pen. We have a browser, which is Chrome, and we have a file manager open. Very good. Let's go back to this guy, and you see here, if you click on this link, you will see my website, which just says localhost. Very good. If you click on PHP info, then you will see this PHP info here. Then there are certain tools. If you click phpMyAdmin, then you will be taken to a web interface to manage your databases, and you see these databases here, and we will come to that in a minute. So these are the tools which MAMP provides you with, right? So we started with MAMP download, and we then installed it, and now we have it running. We see different tools in that. We see that we can also access the database management interface. So we are good. Now one more thing, sorry. When you click my website, it just shows you a very simple page. It's the default index.html page which you see. We are going to place WordPress here, right? How do we do that? We are going to download WordPress, and then we will uncompress that or set up that WordPress in a certain directory, and that certain directory is exactly this directory, c:\\mamp/htdocs. Here is what we are going to place WordPress. So I've already downloaded WordPress by showing it to you here, download WordPress, and I have it downloaded in the downloads section. So I can just do a copy, and I can go to this PC, C drive, MAMP, htdocs, and I can just paste it here, right? But pasting here is not enough, because this is a zip file, as you see this zip icon on this one. So I have to extract it right here. So I will say extract all, and extract all to c:\mamp/htdocs, not in WordPress 5.2.2. So I'm going to uncompress it here. Say extract, and this will take a couple of seconds to extract everything out of the WordPress zip file. Very good. So let's go back to our diagram. Where is it? Here. So we have MAMP, we have htdocs. We are currently in the process of unzipping WordPress here. We have phpMyAdmin, we have this detail, and we are making a note of everything in our text file dutifully. Now WordPress needs a database, which we don't have right now. We have a database service, which is this one, which is running, and when we go to phpMyAdmin, we see something over there. It doesn't give us any error, it shows us something. That means database service is running, but we need a database. That's where my WordPress will store all of its stuff, dynamic stuff. So let's do that. Let's go to our Windows PC here, and by the time we have finished talking, I see a WordPress directory. If I double click, this is the path to that location, right? I can do a copy, and I can just go to the text editor, and I can make a note that WordPress files are placed here. Now database credentials are these, but we need a new WordPress database with the name appropriately called WordPress DB, or just WordPress. And we don't need to assign it a user or password, because it will be by default owned by the user root in your installation, and that user has the password root already. So we simply need to create the database. To create a database, we need to go to the phpMyAdmin interface. So we go to MAMP. If you don't know how to go to MAMP, you can click MAMP smaller dashboard and say open web start page, which will take you here. And here you click tools and go to phpMyAdmin. And here you see this interface. On the left side are the 4 databases which comes with MySQL, and you're not going to mess with any of those. You're going to create a new database, and under this create database you specify the name WordPress, and it has to be UTF something. Don't become fancy, just use this one for now. Press create. And now you see that your database has appeared here, and it says no tables found in the database, because this database is empty right now. It was created just now. Very nice. now we have a database and we have made a note of it in the file manager as well. And just for the completion's sake, I will repeat the user and password information here. Okay. So I have this piece of information. I press Ctrl S also to save this file as MAMP setup notes.txt. Very good. So now I am ready to run the WordPress setup. How do I do that? First, I go to file manager, and I made sure that I have a WordPress directory under htdocs, which is uncompressed. And now I can go to MAMP, and MAMP directly doesn't have a WordPress link. I can go to my website and it says localhost, but we have placed WordPress in a directory called WordPress, so I can just append / which is a / Linux / or simple / localhost / WordPress, and I can press enter here. If you see this screen, you should feel happy and congratulate yourself, because this means that the WordPress is in place, it's working, and this is the setup process for WordPress. So what we can do is we can just select English US for now as language, and there is this big blue button to continue. And now it says welcome to WordPress, but before getting started we need some information on the database. You will need to know the following items before proceeding: database name, database username, password, and host, and optionally table prefix. In our case, in MAMP case, we know that the database name is what we created, is named WordPress. Database username is root, and database password is also root. Database host is localhost, and table prefix is just optional. It could be anything. Normally it's WP_. And I can verify that from my notes file. So new WordPress database, WordPress root, and host is what we got earlier. So I can just repeat the host information as well. That host is localhost. Save. On the WordPress setup page, I can say let's go, and here it asks me the same pieces of information which it warned me about. Database name WordPress, this is correct. Username is going to be root, password is root, database is localhost, and table prefix is WP_. By the way, since this is just a test setup and it's on your computer only for playing and testing and all that, root is okay. Accessing your database with the super admin is alright, it's okay. I won't make fuss about it. But using it on production and expecting someone to give you root credentials to connect to your database would be very silly. Alright, so let's press submit. And it says, all right, you've made it through this far. Run the installation. And it has ran the installation, and now it's asking me some other pieces of information. This is very important, and I'm going to make a note of this. Site title is not important, but we are going to give it some site title. So I would say the site title is new fun learning with WordPress. It's just a title. You can give it anything, any name, any title, any sentence, any word. Username. Now this username is not root and the password is not root. This is going to be the username and password for the admin panel of WordPress, from where you control WordPress. So you're going to type in some word which will become your username. Most of the time the username which people select is admin. So this is easy to remember in the beginning. So just use admin. Select some password. It should be difficult, but since it's a test installation only on your computer, visible to only to you, so you can select any simple password like password or my password. And it says in the box below that's very weak, and we know yes it is very weak. Confirm use of weak password. So all the security people watching this, I'm quite sure none of the security people is watching this, because this is not for you maybe. All right, confirm use of weak password. Your email, of course I'm going to give it my email. This is going to be a legitimate email for some reason, so I'll just say kamran@wbitt.com. And now I have all the pieces of information. There's one more checkbox here: discourage search engines from indexing this site. So let's say you are developing a website and you are on the internet. Actually your website is somewhere on the internet, but you are still developing it. You don't want search engine to register this website in a way that register its content and your site start appearing in the search results. So it's a test website, you don't want that, so you can say discourage search engines. But if it's a live website with production grade material, then you should not check mark this. So ideally, just to not develop this habit of check marking it, just leave it blank, and just now we can press this button saying install WordPress. If everything is correct, then WordPress will be installed like that. It asks me to save password, and yes, I can save password for this website because it's my own computer and I'm going to do a lot of practice. One thing we did not make a note of is WordPress admin interface. I advocated that we must not make a note of this, but we forgot. Username is because it's too late in the night, and password was probably my password, or did I write this one? I can check. Since it's Chrome, it's very easy to go and find my password. I'll just type in here password, and it says passwords. Go there, admin, demo user, password. What is my password? Is it simply password? Yes. Okay, the password is my password in all lowercase letters, so I can just write my password. Very good. So I've made a note of WordPress admin interface. And what exactly is WordPress admin interface? Let's close the settings page. Its URL is this one. Copy. Like so. Now there is this HTTP which appears here, which is very alright. That's actually the default part of the URL. Press save on this text file, and now we are ready to enjoy our website. So we can press login, admin, and the password is already typed in because we chose to save our password. And I can also say further, remember me, and then press login. And if everything is correct, then I should see WordPress admin panel. This is complete dashboard and admin panel. On the left side, I see lots of items which I can use to modify and configure, customize my site. This is the main dashboard, which shows me in an eye blink or a bird's eye view what all is going on with my website. I have just one post, one page, one comment. And what do my website look like? So I can go here, right click, open a new tab. So this is what my WordPress website looks like. So I am going to, so far our process is complete actually. Setting up a WordPress website is complete. It's reachable through http://localhost/WordPress or localhost/WordPress. That's the URL. So we are going to make a note of that as well. Right, WordPress admin interface, and my WordPress website URL is http://localhost/WordPress. Hooray! So if I want to go to the admin panel for WordPress, I go this place. If I want to go to the actual site, I go this place. So, and I would normally open them side by side like so. This is the admin panel, this is the main website. And I don't need phpMyAdmin anymore. I will close this. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. What else I don't want? I don't want download, WordPress download. I don't need. This is what I can use. But this is okay. I don't need it anymore. Let's close that. So I have just WordPress dashboard and my website visible here. Excuse me. Now I can start to customize it, which is beyond basically beyond this video or beyond the scope of this video. But I'll cover just one or two very small posts or blog posts, and that's it. But I want to show you how do you stop and start the servers. So what happens when you stop MAMP server? Minimize the text. So this is your MAMP dashboard. You can close the window, and it has probably closed. I don't know if that actually stops the services or not. I'm going to start it again, and it's probably starting it again. Yes, it's starting it again. So MySQL has started, which was green. Apache has started, which became green as well. If I select a MAMP and exit, it exits, right? Of course, it has to follow the instruction. But what happens if I go to the browser and press refresh? Does it keep working? It does. Does my dashboard keep working? It does. This means that only the dashboard has exited, the services have not stopped. So now I'm going to bring up the dashboard again, and this time I'm going to stop the services and see if that comes up again. And if it doesn't, then it's not my fault. It's the MAMP software which is non-cooperative. So far you have seen that it's working. So I'll just do servers stop. It has stopped the servers. I should wait until the process is complete. And now I can do servers start here, or I can also press this start servers so-called button. I'll just say servers start. Bismillah. Apache started. MySQL started. Hooray! This was not happening on the Windows 8 machine I set up, and that gave me headaches. Alright, I'm going to stop it one more time because I want to show you something. When the servers are stopped, then you should expect failures on your browser when you try to access your website. When you do something like this, press refresh, then it will not work. It will say site cannot be reached because of course the backend service is gone. The admin panel would also be gone, and localhost /MAMP will also not work because everything which is accessible to browser requires a web service, and the web service is down. So this is what you will see if your web server is down. So if you see these errors, that means you should go and check whether your Apache and MySQL services are running, and apparently it looks like they are stopped. You go to servers and you get the start button option, so that means they are stopped and you can start them now. Start. And it starts again. Very good. I go to my browser, I go to my website, I say refresh, and it works. I go to my admin panel, I say refresh, it works. Note this is the admin panel URL. I go to simply the MAMP location, and this is the MAMP web dashboard. Okay, I'm going to show you very simply. Now the main part of the video is over to show how MAMP is installed and WordPress is installed and all that. I'm just going to cover very shortly, very briefly, how can you customize your website. So you can go to appearance, select themes, and in the themes you can see that right now there's a theme called 2019 which is active. You can also select this one or this one, and you can add more themes here. And normally the themes you can add can be found from within WordPress. So, and they can be searched by popularity, and I see this Ocean WP or Velux is very looking beautiful, and it's all just the picture is beautiful. It's you have to really see whether the theme itself is quality theme, whether it has certain good functionality features in it or not. Anybody can put a great picture on a theme. So you just press install and it just installs itself, and it says, it gives you this new blue button saying activate. You press this button activate, and now this Velux theme is activated. Now you go to your website and just press refresh and see what happens. Okay, so this is a new layout now. Very nice. And now you can go to, what else you can do? There are also something called plugins, and by default you get this anti-spam plugin, which is very good to activate and use. Hello Dolly is just a dummy plugin. And I want to warn you about plugins and themes. I do manage or advise or help some people, a team of developers who are running some WordPress websites, and I'm very disappointed by the way people just go on an install spree and just installs whatever plugins they can get their hands on, or just keep installing different themes. When you do that, each plugin introduces some functionality, but if it's crappy plugin, then it also introduces security problems. It could be that plugin opens security holes, or that plugin is it abuses the system resources, or can fall prey to spamming or cracking attacks. Similarly, themes. Some themes are very fancy with this rotating weight spheres and weight notifications and stuff, and ever changing slides and stuff. All of those, they cause CPU and memory to be used. And for your personal website, for 1 or 2 viewers, that may be all right. But if there are thousands of people coming in on your website, then you don't want all these fancy things which are utilizing huge amount of CPU and RAM. So be careful in what you use in themes and plugins. This is very important concept. So I'm going to see posts. I see there's one post here. I can edit it, or I can add a new post. So let's add a new post saying, yes, of course, say Kamran's first post. And I would just write Linux rules, yeah, something like that. And I can add a picture or something. I can download a demo or some sample pictures, sample forest pictures. Okay, so let's click on this one. It's just a sample, just for demo purposes. So I'm going to click on this, hopefully. Oh no, it's a YouTube video. No, I don't want YouTube video. And let's right click and open image in new tab. And this is a PNG image. So now I can just right click, save the image in my downloads directory, save. And I don't need this tab anymore. I can go to my admin interface and say add an image, upload, downloads, select the picture and say open. This file exceeds the maximum upload size for this site. Okay, Linux pictures, Linux logo, because I wrote Linux rules, so that is going to be, I'm going to use a Linux picture. And better yet, I'll say Fedora pictures, because Fedora pictures, no, Fedora Linux, sorry. Yes, this is great picture. So I can use this one. I can say open image in new tab, and I can say right click, save image as some image in downloads directory, press save. It's downloaded. I don't no longer need this. I go back to my blog post and I say upload an image, and this time I select Linux, open, yes. And Linux rules, and Fedora is the best. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. All right. So I've made this post. I've not pressed published yet or save or anything. If I go to my website, press refresh, it's still the same. Nothing has happened here, right? Still the same. I go here and I say publish, and this is the visibility, and if there are any more tags I want to add, for now I'll just say publish, and it's now published. I can go to my website and say refresh, and there I see my first post, and it says continue reading. So I can press this to get the full blog post, so to say, and it shows me what I selected. So there you go. You have your first blog post. You saw how to change the theme to a different theme. You can install more plugins if you want to, which I'll totally not go into right now. And just so you know, the theme can be customized. Let me show you one more time. You go to appearance and you select whatever theme you have. One is at any given time, only one will be active. If you want to customize, you can press customize, and then you can do a lot of stuff with it. It's all here. What is going to be site identity, how the layout will look like, header media, what picture you want. Do you want a picture or an image or suggested image? Let's use this suggested image and say publish, and it gives you a preview here on the right side. See, if I go to my main website and I just say refresh, so my title bar has changed. See, I can use add new image, and I can add a forest file. I hope it's not too stupid, it's too big. Anyhow, you get the idea. Then you can control different buttons and where those buttons would be placed, and how many columns you want, what fonts you want, what menus you want. Everything you can control in a theme, and that's a completely different video, and I don't think I can make that one. The idea was to show you MAMP in action, which is done. So thank you very much for your time and patience for listening to me for now 1.5 hours instead of half an hour. Very good. So I hope you find it useful. Let me know. And yeah, see you some other day with some other video. Before I depart, whenever you do any work on computer, whenever you're trying to solve a problem or do whatever, make notes, write steps, make notes, take screenshots, make notes, and backtrack, and use this kind of diagram. Draw it on the paper with pencil or pen, whatever you have, and try to understand what you're doing. Don't just randomly click here and there and just assume that you will remember everything. You will never remember everything. Okay? See you. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.